So here's our trees we're gonna plant. Yard looks like a scene out of Caddyshack, but you can see we got all the grass pulled back. There won't be anything competing with the trees, and we get some mulch in there to help keep the weeds and stuff down. So. Hi, welcome back to Buckeye Garden Channel. Today we're going to plant some bare root fruit trees. I ordered these trees from my local soil and water conservation office, and I got them really cheap. I got 2 apples for $30, 2 peach for $30, and 2 cherry, I think for $32. So that's pretty cheap for some trees. And we got to go pick them up here in a little bit. I'm going to show you what I got, and we'll show you how I planted them. So if you've seen my other videos, I did one on spraying and one on trimming the fruit trees, and you'll see behind me, these are the trees I planted last year. So these were bare root trees. This one here was. Now the one back there behind me that you can see, that was in a pot from Tractor Supply. And I was a Honeycrisp. My wife really likes Honeycrisp apples, so I bought one of those. And this one here is a Crimson Crisp, I believe. It's supposed to pollinate it. So I bought it. Anyhow, you can see the height difference back there. That one's, now granted, I trimmed them up. If you saw my other videos, I trimmed them. But right now, it's a foot and a half shorter than this one. This one here, when I got it last year, it was on this second wire. It was about that tall right there. If you remember, I cut a good 1.5 to 2 foot off of it when I trimmed it up and pruned it this year. So, I mean, you can see how much they've grown for these bare root ones. I'm really impressed with them. That's why I got some more of them. And they're pretty reasonable price, I think. So we're going to give it a shot here. I've got enough room here to plant what I bought for this year. And then there's a couple more I can plant up here, but we're going to start going down over the hill here. I'll show you when we get all done what I got from my little orchard. But anyhow, I'm going to show you how I plant. I'm going to plant them the exact same way I did this last year, except for the fertilizer. I got a different kind because they couldn't find the kind I had last year. But anyhow, other than that, we're going to plant the exact same way. We're going to take the sod where the trees are. We're going to clean it off probably at about a 3.5 foot area. We'll take that sod and roll it up, kind of make like a dam around the outside. I saw somebody else do that, and it worked really good for me last year. So I do that, and then we'll dig the dirt out before we put the root in. I'll mix in a bag of cow manure and compost, just kind of mix it up a little bit, give it some good nutrients, because the soil up here on this hilltop is not the greatest, a lot of clay. But anyhow, we'll mix that up and then replant the tree with that, and then I won't do it today because I didn't have any, but I put some mulch around the ones last year. I just bought a bag of mulch, like you put in your flower bed and stuff, and put that around, just kind of as a barrier to help hold the water stuff in. Anyhow, these trees did awesome, so I'm planting them the exact same way this year, and we'll show you how I did it. So first, let's go dig the holes here. We'll get the sod removed, and then we'll go pick up our trees. All right, so I went around and marked where I want to put my trees last night. So the center of this X is where I want to start. So I'm going to go back about 1.5 to 2 foot on each side of that X. And I'm going to use this mattock to just kind of peel the sod back. And then when we're done here, I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. You don't want anything competing with the tree for nutrients and stuff. So you want to get all this sod out of here. And we're just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm not going to get in here and measure it or anything. You can do this with a shovel, whatever you got handy. We just want to roll that soil all back. All right. So that's good enough for me. The reason I'm going with a spot this size is my cages, when I go to put them on, I got some wire. I'm going to tie it up. I'll cut it off 9 foot. It'll make about a 3 foot cage. And that'll fit on about the outside of this, like the other trees you saw last year. So all I do is take this, turn it upside down. We'll go around here. Nothing fancy. Now, this is what you want to do. I did take weed killer and spray around these last summer once, just kind of keep the grass down. I know some people don't want that around their trees, but I did it on not a windy day, make sure it didn't blow it up and around the trees. And it seemed like it worked really well, so. Again, I know some people don't like using it, but I'll use it around something like that. All right. So that's pretty much it right there. So now you see we got some nice clean soil. There's a couple big grubs in there. Good for fishing. Get our soil here, get all the weeds out of it. We go to plant our tree, we'll dig a hole right here in the middle, pull that soil out, mix it with some compost. So I'm gonna go ahead and dig the rest of these holes real quick, and then we'll go to town and get our trees picked up. Okay, so we got our holes all dug. I got 7 holes, I got 7 trees I'm getting. I've got 1 extra cherry that I bought from a different place we're gonna plant today too. So this row here is gonna be my cherries. This row here, you see I got 2 existing peaches. I'm gonna put 2 more out there. And then same way with the apples. I've got 3 apples there now, and there's gonna be 2 more out there at the end. And that little thing right there is some kind of cherry tree that I've been trying to grow for a few years, and I was afraid to move it. So I just kind of left it there. Sorry, got out of focus. Anyhow, we're just going to see if it even grows. If it doesn't, I'm about ready to cut it off. But anyhow, so here's the trees we're going to plant. Yard looks like a scene out of Caddyshack. But you can see we got all the grass pulled back. There won't be anything competing with the trees. And we get some mulch in there to help keep the weeds and stuff down. So let's go pick our trees up. All right, welcome back. So 2 days later, so I dug these holes on Wednesday. I thought Wednesday was the 16th. It wasn't. I didn't look at the calendar. I'd been planning this all week. Thought Wednesday was 16th. It wasn't. It was Thursday. So Wednesday I dug the holes. Yesterday I went and picked up the fruit trees, and I didn't have time to get them in the ground yesterday, so I didn't touch them. I left them in the bags the way they came, and they should have had a little bit of water on them. So we're going to open them up and find out right now. So anyhow, we picked them up yesterday. Today we're going to get them in the ground. So today is Friday, April 17th, and we're going to get them in the ground. So last year I planted them Friday. It was the same Friday. I think it was April 16th or 18th. Whatever way the calendar moves, it was the same Friday. So it's basically the same time as I did last year. So these are my 2 apple trees. I've also got 2 peach trees and 2 cherry trees. I got them sitting in the shade over here right now until I get ready to plant. And we'll do the apple ones first. And I got a bucket of water here. So let's go ahead and take them out of the bag, and we'll show you what I got. But first, I want to show you, so this is how tall they are. These are taller than the ones I had last year, but also the roots aren't in the ground yet. So we'll see when we get them in the ground. I don't know where the graft spot is. You got to make sure wherever it's graft is sticking out of the soil a couple inches. And I'm going to put a little bit of mulch around them, so I might leave it out 3 or 4 inches because I'm going to mulch around them too. I picked up some mulch to go around them. So last year when I planted this one, as I told you before, it was on the second rung of wire, if you can see that in the camera there. So it was about that tall, and I've trimmed about 1.5 feet, 2 foot off of it. So it's really grown in the last year. Got it all trimmed up. It's got a couple blooms on it I'm pretty excited about. So here's the ones I got this year. There's a dead branch on that one there. It's been broke for a while. The top of this one's broke off. I'm going to take my cutters and we'll trim that up. I'll show you after I plant them. And I might give these a little trim, just a couple of them, because they're really long scaffolds and we don't need them that long. So let's open it up, see what we got here. Let's see how they came. Like I said, I got these from my local soil and water conservation office. They had a huge tree sale every year. Last year's the first year I did it, and I got the fruit trees. I also got, I can't remember what all there was. There were some white oaks that I put down along the road. There was 2 American chestnuts that I was excited about, and I put them where, if I know the American chestnuts, doesn't have the blight resistance and stuff, so if they die in a few years, it's not going to fall in the road or in my way or in my buildings. So I put them kind of off to the garden there beyond it, down over the hill a little bit, where it's not going to hurt anything. What else did I get? Some black walnuts. So I had a bunch of logging done last year, and I got a bunch of those hardwoods, a bunch of nut trees to plant down there. And I started my own Dunstan chestnuts last year and planted a bunch of them too. So I got like 20 trees I planted last week that I had started last year in tree pots up at the house. I got them all planted down the woods along where I got a food plot for deer and stuff. And just bring in the wildlife, and the boys get a little older here and enjoy some hunting. There'll be plenty of nut trees for the animals to eat. So let's see what we got. These got some nice roots on them, and they are very moist, so that's good. So we can get a little closer here where you can see they've got nice root balls, 2 of them there. And if you look right here, you see this spot here, this is the graft. This is where they graft the apple into the rootstock. So this needs to be out of the soil. So we're going to put our soil about right there, about where that green mark is. I don't know if they marked that for me or not, but anyhow, that's about where we want it. And then we'll put a little bit of mulch up. Maybe we'll even go a little bit lower, make room for the mulch. This one's the same way. You can always tell where it's been grafted. They got that big bulb looking spot on it. We'll put that one in the ground in a little bit. It's got some roots sticking out there. It'll be fine though. So these look like pretty good root stalks here. They feel like they're alive and everything. This one was a little concerning. Like I said, that one was dead. And I'll zoom in on the tip over here. A tip, but maybe it's been broke for a while, but it's all dried up and stuff. So we're going to give that a cut next to one of these buds, just like I did when I trimmed the other ones when we planted here. So I'm going to put these in a bucket of water, if they'll fit. There we go. We'll just let them roots soak for a little bit. Get them all down in there. The sun's got some heat in it today. We don't want them drying out on us here next few minutes. Now, let's go over. I'm going to show you how we prep the hole. We're going to dig a hole. I'm going to take the soil I dig, put in a wheelbarrow, and I got some bags of compost and manure. I don't know how good it is. We're going to look. I don't think it's that great, but at least it's got some nutrient value. It's better than the soil I'm planting them in. So we'll mix that together good, and I'll show you how we plant them. All right, so I got you where you can see the hole there. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to dig the hole. We're going to use the dirt. We're going to mix it. So what I've got here says compost and manure. I don't have a lot of high hopes on the quality of it, but it'll be better than just whatever I've got in here. So let's go ahead and dig us a hole. We want to have the roots spread out pretty good. So we're going to dig a hole here, probably about, I don't know, 16 inches in diameter, somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit more. We're just going to throw that in the wheelbarrow because we want to get that all mixed up good. Okay, so I'd say we're about 18 inches on the top, and it's just kind of tapered down in, and it's about a foot deep or so. That should be plenty. So let's take our bag here, see what we got in this bag. I saw a bag busted when I bought it, and it looks like it's some sandy stuff, which is okay because there's no sand in this soil. So a little drainage might go a long ways. Doesn't look terrible. It was cheap. I figured it would work good for what we need it for here. So, looks like pretty black. It's got some manure in it maybe, I don't know. It's really wet. It's got lots of sand in it. It's not great, but it's good enough for what we need it for. So, lost my gloves somewhere. I'm about to find them. So let me grab my tree and my fertilizer. So let's mix this up a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't have to be great. Got some rocks in it. All right, good enough for me. Let's grab our tree. So I'm gonna put I got a Lodi and a Rogers Red Macintosh, I believe. I'm gonna put the Lodi in this hole. No particular reason, just the way I wanted to do it. All right. Let's see where so right there where it's at is not too bad as far as, we want to make sure we keep our spot there up out of the ground. I like that. So, what I'm going to do is take a little bit of soil here. I got the tree all the way down in the hole, okay? We're just going to sprinkle some of this in around it. Now, the way I did it last year is I sprinkled this in. It's be a lot easier with two people. Somebody hold the tree, somebody put the soil in, but I'm just showing you how I did it. It worked all right. I'm going to put some of this around there. I'm going to shake the tree a little bit and kind of wiggle that in tight around the roots. I'll go right in here like that. Now, let's get one more scoop, and then I'm going to put some fertilizer in. I'm going to tell you what I did different this year with the fertilizer. All right, so the tree kind of staying on its own now. I like it. So, last year I used Dr. Earth fruit tree fertilizer. I got a big bag of it, Tractor Supply. I really, really liked it. Couldn't find it this year. My local Tractor Supply didn't have it. They had one 40 miles away, and I wasn't driving that far for it. I should have got some ahead of time, but as usual, I waited till the last week, run out of time. So it was 552, I think, and I was wanting something close to it. So I found this plant toad, and I've used this brand before, and I've actually used this kind once or twice on some other stuff, and it worked all right. So this was 533, so it's not too bad. I think it'll work fine for what we're using it for. Last year, when I planted them, I used that Dr. Earth fruit tree fertilizer. I used that when I planted it. About the instructions on it said 2 cups per tree, and that's about what I used. Like I said, this is organic. It's not that strong. This is 533, so I don't think you're gonna burn the tree by putting. And we got a big hole we're spreading it in. We're gonna bury it down in the dirt, and later on I come back. I don't know, maybe the end of May or so, June, and I put the little spike fertilizers. I don't know if you've ever seen them or not. I've got them. I'll show them to you here at the end of the video. But I went ahead and put one of those in each tree. Anyhow, the trees did great. So I'm going to do the exact same thing this year. I just couldn't find that kind of fertilizer I had. So we're going to use some of this. Like I said, I've used this brand before. It was fun. I just really like that fruit tree fertilizer. It was supposed to have a little bit of everything in it. Some extra stuff. I don't know if it did or not, but it worked good. I want to try it again. So we're going to try this to see if there's any difference. So I'm going to put a couple big handfuls in. Said the soil up here is not that great, so it won't hurt it any. I'll put 2.5 handfuls. There you go. Set this over here where it won't spill all over the yard. All right. So let's put some more dirt in our tree. Give her a couple shakes here. Like I said, it helps get that dirt packed in around the roots. Seems like it does anyway. There's a big clump of roots. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so you can see here, the tree's not too bad. We're going to stake it. You got to stake them that first year anyways. But I mean, it's in there pretty good where I shook it. I'm pretty happy with that. So we got plenty of our dirt around there. So let's get a stake here. Now you can use whatever you want for stake. Wooden stake. I've never had a whole lot of luck with wood. A couple reasons. One, I got a lot of rocks in my soil, so I tend to break them off. But what I like to use is 1/2-inch rebar, about 5 foot long. I buy these 10-foot sticks at Lowe's. I don't know how much they are. I started buying these ones years ago. I think they're up to $5 or $7 now. But you buy a 10-foot one, cut it in two, get one of these rebar. It will last you your lifetime. Okay, so I'm trying to not put it right directly where the roots are, but I want to lean it in a little bit. So we're going to go about right there. I'll pull it back a little bit. I don't want it rubbing on the tree too hard. Okay, that's not too bad. I like that. All right. Now, if you remember my video where I trimmed them this year, I had a little bit of damage. I was going to put that over the top. Let me move the camera up where you can see it a little bit. There we go. I was going to put that water ball on top because the top of that thing gets sharp. The wind gets blowing that tree around. And it tore them up a little bit last year. I think it'll be good. So I've got two things to tie it up with. Last year I had this Velcro stuff. It worked pretty good. I don't know what I did with it. I can't find it this year. I just took it off the other trees too a month ago. I don't know. I must have thrown it away. I can't find it. But anyhow, so I've got this vinyl tape stuff. It's not sticky at all. You can just tie it in a knot. I also got t-shirts. I was going to use t-shirts. I'm worried about them holding water and water against the bark. I mean, I've seen other people do it, and I think it's okay. I'm going to do both just to see. I want to see how this stuff holds up first. Because it's vinyl. It's supposed to be for tying up plants. So I'm going to tie it tight around the post. Because I don't want it to move. And then we'll tie it loosely around the tree. We don't want the tree rubbing necessarily against the post all the time. We just want something to kind of stabilize it. We got a lot of wind up here on top of this hill. Something like that. So that'll keep it from blowing over. Let's go ahead and try some of this green tape here. We'll do the same thing with it. We'll see how it holds up. Let me get down here. It sits about there. I don't remember where I got this. I think Greenhouse Megastore where I ordered some of my seed starting trays. I think's where I got it. I don't know. We'll wrap it around there twice. Just give it kind of a loop. And we'll tie it together right here. Alright. So, we're going to try that, see how it works. I think the t-shirt will be okay. I'm just worried about it holding moisture right there and causing damage to the bark. But I think it'll be alright. Something soft. Just tie that up out of the way there. Alright, well, I got you sitting there on the camera. Let's give this tree, I'm going to end up cutting this one off next year anyway. So let's just shorten it up. So don't need them that long. Especially this one. This is a nice big branch here. Like I said, I'll probably end up cutting it off in a few years anyway, but give her a snip right here. And the rest of it looks good. This top here is broke. I'm just going to give it a little snip next to this bud. That tree's got some life in it. That's good. All right. And we're just going to leave her just like that. Now, the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some mulch. I've got some other, put about a half bag around it, just kind of help hold the moisture in the soil, keep the weeds down a little bit. You can see I got some weeds around my other ones. Actually, I need to weed eat. Most of that's on the outside. There's only a couple inside. I need to get those cleaned up. And then, so mulch, and we'll put one of these wire cages on here. These are 5-foot tall wire cages. It's tall enough to keep the deer from reaching over it. I will put another piece of rebar on the outside of that and tie it to it with some tie wire. I'll show you that when we get all done here. But that's how I plant my trees. Let me go ahead and get the rest of these in the ground and we'll show you the wire and the mulch. Okay, so we got our fruit trees all planted. Got 7 of them planted total. I'm going to walk through and show you which ones they are. So this row here is cherry. All I did was put about a half bag of mulch, just like you get for your flower bed. Put that around the base of them. You can see if you look real close. That way you can see I tried to leave the graft spot exposed so it doesn't stay in the moisture. I cut these cages. These are 5-foot tall cages. Cut them 9 foot long, so they're about 3 foot around. And I use some of this. It's just PVC coated wire. I got it on Amazon. It was cheap. But it's better than tie wire. It won't break or anything in the wind. And it's yellow, so when I do take the cages off and service the trees, if I drop it in the ground, I can find it again. Won't run it over the mower tires. I just like to twist a couple times and turn them in. That way, when I'm walking by, I don't catch my leg on or catch it on the mower. Inside, I put a bottle on top of those. I showed you the damage on some of the ones that I pruned there last year, just to keep from rubbing against the tree. The top of that rebar is kind of rough when the wind blows. Got a rag tied, like I showed you on there. So this one here is a Montimorency cherry, I believe. I got it this year. The next one's a Benton cherry. It's supposed to be like a Bing cherry, I think. And this last one is a Rainier. Now, this didn't come from the tree sale. I ordered this separate. This come from, I think it's Isons, Isons Nursery. I think they're out of Georgia. Anyhow, they sell a lot of grapevines and stuff. And I'd ordered grapevines for another project coming up here next week. And I really wanted the Rainier cherry tree. So I've got that one in there. So over here, let's see, my existing peaches. I think that one, far one's a Flaming Fury. I can't remember what this one is now. I can't remember. So this year, this one here is a Red Haven, and I did trim them up a little bit. They had a lot of growth down along the bottom here and stuff. Trimmed it all up and cut these branches where they'll grow out a little bit, just like I did when I pruned them. They're just starting to bloom, just to see what it does. So this is a Red Haven peach. This is an Orion peach. I did the same thing with it, trimmed it up a little bit, made it look decent. And then the apples, let's see, existing clear on the end was Ruby Rush, Crimson Crisp. That is a Honey Crisp. That one come in a pot from Tractor Supply last year, and the bare root trees have outgrown it. Now this one here is a little cherry that I got from a father-in-law that's died and come back a couple times. I'm thinking I'm getting ready to just cut it off. We'll see what it does this year. So these are the two apples I got this year. This is a Lodi. I think it's like a green apple. And I did the same thing with it. I trimmed it up a little bit. Got a nice central leader starting at the top there. And then this one here is Rogers Red Macintosh, I think. Now, I didn't get to pick the varieties. You get two every year and they're supposed to pollinate each other. So that's what it came with. So that's the trees I got this year. I've got 12 trees total in my little orchard up here now. So that's enough to get me started here for a while. I don't know. I might get a couple more next year. We'll see. The problem I'm having is every hole has different type dirt in it that I dug today. It's not. Oh, I put these 20 feet apart too. I forgot to mention that. Last year I put them 15. I think they'll do fine because I'm going to keep them trimmed and everything. But this year I went 20, just give me a little more space to mow around them. And then when they do start growing, give more room for airflow and sunlight around them. And I got enough room here on top of the hill. But this hill drops off. And I know it doesn't look that steep, but I can barely get the lawnmower on that. If I do, it feels like it's going to roll. So it's steeper than it looks. I don't know how many trees I want to put on that because it's going to be hard to manage. But I've got a little bit of room out here where that old log is. I can put a few more, probably 5 more out there if I want to. Got my corn plot here that I had last year. And this big long stretch, if you've seen this name in my other videos, tilled up, is where I'm going to be putting grapevine trellis this year. I was planning on doing that today, but I'm running out of time. So that's not going to happen today. But next week, I'm going to work on it. I got some weed fabric I'm going to put down, put some grapes in around it, and then they don't really need a trellis right away, but I'm going to stake them and put some tubes around them, and then I will get the trellis built here this spring and early in the summer with some wire and some posts, and we'll get it done. And I might make a video on that. We'll see. It's first year trying grapes. I've never tried them before. I'm going to put 10 plants, 10 feet apart. So I got 100-foot long trellis I'm going to have here. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll make another video next year, seeing how this year goes, and we'll go from there. All right, so that's how we planted bare root fruit trees this year. Like I said, same way I did them last year, just different type of fertilizer. Everything else was the same, and everything last year did really good. Really impressed with them. Give them a little trim when I plant them this year. Now that I kind of know what I'm doing after trimming these ones, and you can see already they seem like they're happy about that trim, and they've really bloomed or come out in the last week. There is some bloom starting on a couple of them apples, so we'll see what that happens. But I'm gonna get some water and give them a good drink today. It's supposed to be hot next couple of days. It's been the 80s here for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Maybe that's really gonna cool off. So anyhow, we'll give them a good drink here today, and I'll keep you posted and let you know how they're doing. And thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you next time here on the Buckeye Gardener channel. You can see right here on this this apple tree, I think it's a Crimson Crisp. Several blooms opened up just overnight. There wasn't anything on this yesterday. Several blooms on it.